Well, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay.
Jesus, I'm talking to you, Jesus. Okay. Uh, yeah, nice to meet you, man. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I'm overrunning a little bit with my interview schedule. I talk too much.
Don't worry, Steven. How are you?
Very good, very good. Thank you. When you look at the state of the world, I have to be happy that I'm healthy and I'm just enjoying talking about this new record, basically. Yeah.
Sounds awesome. Well, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay. It's been almost 4 years since you released your last solo album, To the Bone. And now you come back with an album where you continue to experiment in the field of electronic music.
Mm.
So I want to ask you, what's going down this path with synthesizers and analog keyboards a conscious decision or something that came during the recording process? How long did you plan this album?
It was a conscious decision, but it wasn't like I made the decision for a very careerist reason. The reason I decided to go down the route of using more electronic sound is because I wanted to excite myself about doing something different. And I'm the kind of person that's always looking to evolve, to excite myself with changing, reinventing myself. And so it was really that. And I think increasingly I felt over the last few years that I'd kind of done everything I could do with the guitar and with the classic rock music genre. And I found myself more excited about working with electronics, synthesizers, than I was with the guitar. And that was a big change for me. I kind of understood that it would be controversial for some of my fans. It would be difficult for some of my fans. But the most important thing is that I had to be inspired by what I was doing.
Okay, well, and talking about these electronic sounds, I read an interview where you said that when electronic music sounds very human, organic, and emotional, it is a very special feeling. But how did you make the sounds that come from synthesizers have that humanity and connect emotionally with the listener?
It's a good question. I don't really have a great answer for you, except to say that you experiment and you try to find sounds that speak to you emotionally. And I don't believe that synthesizers are cold instruments. I believe they're capable of very human kind of qualities in a way. They can breathe in a kind of way, in a very organic way. And I was very to be working with a great co-producer, a guy called David Coston, who's been working with electronics for many, many years. And I've always admired his production and the way he creates essentially electronic music. And he's worked with Flaming Lips and everything Bats for Lashes. And a lot of those bands use a lot of electronic sound, but it's always felt very natural, organic, emotional to me. So working with him was definitely inspiring. We used a lot of analog keyboards, and I think that's also part of the beauty of the sound of the record comes from using not digital keyboards, but analog keyboards, which have more of a personality. They're more quirky, unpredictable, and in that sense, they are more like human beings and more like guitars. So that's probably the way we did it. Yeah.
You're talking about the social media, and another thing that surprised me was to see that you use TikTok as a platform to present this album. And I find it very interesting because during 2020, through this application, we saw how many independent and mainstream artists have gone viral thanks to thousands of people using their songs to record videos. But why did you choose this social media to promote King Ghost? And what do you think is the appeal that the music industry found on TikTok?
Well, I mean, the reality is that we are going through COVID-19 crisis pandemic. I can't tour. I can't do any TV. I can't go to record stores and sign records like I would normally be doing at this time to promote a new record. The only thing left to me, ironically, when you consider the subject matter of the album and what we were talking about, the only thing left to me is being able to promote my record through social media. TikTok is a big part of, social media now. The truth is, I myself have never been on TikTok. It's not my world. I understood that TikTok was becoming increasingly. So my record company and my management came to me and said, you need to be on TikTok. So I have to be on TikTok, I have to be on Instagram, I have to be on YouTube, I have to be on Facebook, whatever it is, I have to be on there in some form, because there's always a chance that somebody new might discover my music.
One of my favorite songs on the album is 20 Things I Forgot, because in the middle of the beats and scenes, it has that classic band sound that feels like a huge breath of fresh air. And I know it's difficult to choose just one, but do you have a favorite song on this album?
I have a couple. I think King Ghost, for me, felt like a big breakthrough on this record. It's almost entirely electronic, but it's still very beautiful, very emotional, and very organic. And I think when you talk about electronic music, particularly with people who've grown up with the more traditional rock music vocabulary, I think a lot of them are scared of electronic, not scared of it, but they think that electronic music is by definition very cold, very technical, very machine-like. And I think King Ghost is evidence that disproves that. It's incredibly emotional, incredibly beautiful, incredibly spiritual, and yet it's almost entirely electronic. So for me, that was a real breakthrough moment when I was writing this record. I also really love this song called Man of the People on the record. I think that's also probably my second favorite on the record. But you know what? I'm proud of this record. I'm so proud of everything on this record, and I'm proud of the fact that it is quite eclectic. And you kind of mentioned that 12 Things I Forgot is quite different to everything else on the record. But then everything is different to everything else on the record. They all seem to have their own little personality, and yet it all seems to somehow fit together. And I think that's something I'm really proud of more than anything else.
We said you're an artist who doesn't like to play only one genre, and that is incredible because we have the opportunity to hear you explore other rhythms and sounds. But where do you find inspiration, or what motivates you to improve yourself as a musician?
I mean, partly the answer is this. I still listen to music all day long, all the time. I love music. I love different kinds of music. I have never understood the notion of musical snobbery or listening. I've never understood the notion of listening within genre. So I've never understood, ever since I was at school, I never understood that thing where somebody, what kind of music do you like? Oh, I like heavy metal. What kind of music do you like? Oh, I like reggae. What kind of music do you like? I like soul music. Because I liked it all, and I still do. And I don't understand that listening within genre thing. And so my inspiration really comes from not wanting to repeat myself and trying to find different ways to express myself, different styles of music. And that's what drives me, kind of curiosity and wanting to keep it exciting for myself. I guess in that way, I'm quite selfish. I'm never thinking about my fans when I'm making music. I'm never thinking about my listeners when I'm deciding what I'm going to do next. I'm always only thinking about what's going to make me inspired, what's going to excite me musically. And it's only later that I think, well, how are my fans going to take this? Because I don't know. And I really didn't know how my fans were going to react to the Future Bites. And I still don't completely know for sure. But I like that. That also makes it exciting. And you know what? The most important thing is people are talking about this record. Even if they decided they don't like it, they're still talking about it. And I think that's quite an achievement in itself.
You have come to Mexico many times. The last time you played here was in 2018, right?
I think you're right. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, what is your best memory of having been in Mexico or the Mexican people?
Oh my goodness. I have so many, Jesus. I mean, I spent many weeks just hanging out in Mexico City with people. And when we were filming the Insurgentes documentary, which was like 12 years ago now, I was almost living there for a couple of months. And I just love the place so much. And I love the fact that it's all a bit twisted as well. You know, you go to places like the island of the dolls in Xochimilco and those kind of places. They're bizarre. It's like someone like me that comes from Europe going to somewhere like that. It's almost like entering a surrealist movie, you know. And you know, some of the places I traveled in Mexico, I just fell in love with, because it's everything I love about the world, being someone that's very curious about, you know, what else is out there and different ways of life and different cultures and different musics. And it's definitely one of my top 3 places on the planet, Mexico. I can't wait to come back. I really can't.
Thank you so much for your time, Steven. Congratulations from this album. It's amazing, and we hope you very soon here in Mexico.
Thank you very much, Jesus. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Have a great day, my friend. Bye now.